So here we are again for video 3, and we're going to start by constraining the sketch that we have started on the previous video. Select layer settings, and we're going to turn off the label layers, which is 38, and over here we're going to activate the sketch. We're going to activate the dart. Now that it's active, we notice that we have 21 constraints to apply here. Notice that if we select show remove constraints, there is no constraints created. So if we go into outer constraint and we leave some of these typical horizontal, vertical, tangent, parallel, perpendicular, and coincident on, when we hit OK, it reduces down to 12 constraints. And if we go back here, we notice what constraint has been applied. We have coincident, coincident again. We have coincident with points and lines. And then we have one of them is a horizontal constraint here that is good to have. So now that we have created those constraints, let's add the rest of them. Let's make this line a vertical line. We're going to apply another constraint by selecting the endpoint of this line, putting it on this line, and we're going to create a point and curve. Selecting the endpoint of the line again and selecting the bottom line, creating a horizontal point and curve. Now we're going to take the arc, select the arc here. Well, probably won't work, but let's give it a try. No, this is not correct. Let's be sure that we select the center of the arc. We're going to select this line here that is vertical, point and curve. So we have 8 constraints to apply now. We're going to select the arc on this line, and we're going to be sure that we're going to have created a tangency between the two of them. Do the same thing on the other side. Six constraints to go. So we're going to apply an angular dimension between these two lines here. Select one line here, select another line, and let's make this a 90 degrees. Close. We got 5 constraints to go. So now we need to apply a radial dimension for the arc at the very top. Well, we can make that any radius we wish. Let's make that for right now a 5 and close. Got 4 constraints to go. Notice that this vertical line is not following the rest of the geometry. So carefully we select the endpoint on the arc, and we're going to place that point on the arc. So it has point and curve. We got 3 constraints to go, and those 3 constraints we can take care of very easily. But before we do that, we're going to select this particular line that we are not going to extrude, and we're going to convert it to a reference line. Continue having the 3 constraints, and those would be positional constraints. We got to position the dart in place by selecting the bottom, the horizontal line, with the axis that we have previously created, and we're going to make those 2 collinear. Now we have reduced down to 2 constraints, and we're going to select that reference line. We're going to select the datum plane that we had previously created and made that a collinear. Notice how the sketch moves to the center. We have 1 constraint remaining. Let's organize these dimensions by repositioning the angular dimension and the radial dimension to be closer to the geometry of the sketch. As I said before, we have 1 constraint remaining, and we have this datum plane. We had the arc here that we're going to select. We're going to select that datum plane. We're going to make that tangent. By making it tangent, actually it's going to be controlled. That datum plane will control the height of the dart. We have a fully constrained sketch. So we're going to finish this sketch. And that's what we're going to do for this particular sketch right now. Well, we're going to create the extrusion. We need to create an extrusion here of the dart. Since we have a little bit extra time, we can do that. So notice how the sketch highlights. There is something that what is going on? Well, basically we have the sketch, and if I move this up and down, I don't see the preview. I guess the subtract is the Boolean operation. We're just gonna leave it at none for right now, and see how the subtract is there because I have the translucency turned on. So you know that's how I'm gonna do it. Just go back and just simply create the extrusion for here, and sometimes that happens. What we're going to do is create a boolean by subtracting the solid, which is our tool body and the target body, and hit OK. We have our dart. We're going to go ahead and move into this a little bit more by creating the blend. Just go and apply a blend here. And for this demonstration purposes, it doesn't matter which blend size. We're going to leave it at 10 is acceptable. Hit OK. And pretty much that would conclude the creation of the dart for right now. So we're going to stop here. Please be sure to watch the next video number 4. Thanks for watching.